Are all these warning signs really necessary? Well, it might not look like too much today, but a few years ago now, one unlucky couple on their honeymoon found out the hard way just what horrors lie beneath the surface here. Not too far downstream from here, this is a regular river. It's wide. On certain days it's safe to swim, but at this particular stretch it turns vertical. It's like a canyon filled with water. And officially it's over 9 meters deep, but some people think certain parts of this are over 60 meters deep. And aside from the speed of the water today, you might be thinking, well, 60 meters deep water, big deal, I can swim. But yeah, fair enough. So let's see what would happen if I jumped in here right now. Well, firstly, I'd plunge beneath the surface, and I might not make it up again, because what we can't see today is just how narrow this stretch of the river gets. And the currents firing through there would be doing their best to throw me from side to side against the jagged rocks underneath the surface. And that's not even the worst part, because these rocks that today are covered in water, some people actually stand on those in the summertime, and they're actually overhangs, because underneath the power of the river over the years has eroded the sides, creating these submerged caverns. And if you get pulled into one of those, well, good luck getting out again. This stretch of the river is called the Strid, and it's part of the River Wharfe in North Yorkshire. And if you're wondering what happened to the honeymooning couple, well, they were in the river just upstream from here, around a time when there'd been very heavy rainfall. And it's said that the water levels here can rise up to 5 feet in less than a minute. And on the date of the incident, one passerby saw a man's jacket floating through the Strid. 6 days later, the bride was found downstream at a nearby village, and it wasn't until over a month later that the groom was found almost 10 miles away. Now you might be thinking, blimey, that's a bit of a heavy start to a video. And yeah, I agree, but we couldn't come all this way without checking out the Strid. Some of you may know where we are right now. We're on what's called the Bolton Abbey estate in North Yorkshire. And ordinarily, if you've either been here or you've seen this before, you might not recognize this. It looks very different today. We've had very heavy rainfall the last few days, and ordinarily you can see how narrow this stretch of the river is. It's kind of, from what I've read, around 2 meters at certain parts, way different to how it is downstream. But today you can't even really see, apart from the obvious danger of the fast water, you can't see the kind of cavern that's been carved out where things get really dangerous. And the safer parts where you can swim, I mean, I wouldn't do it today, but they're down this way, further downstream. Now onto some more light-hearted things. There's quite a few things to see at Bolton Abbey. I've picked out 2 in particular though. They're going to be a bit more easygoing, not quite as intense. So we're going to start making our way through what's called Strid Wood, and we'll see what we can find. Here's all the official info, by the way, for anybody that wants it. So this is the official reading for the depth, over 9 meters, more than 2 double-decker buses on top of each other. So it's deep regardless. This is what's lurking under the surface, and you don't want to be down there, believe me. Now the Bolton Abbey estate is huge. You can spend probably the best part of a day here. I'd recommend coming in summer. It's beautiful all year round, to be fair. You'll always get kind of a different feel for the scenery. But it's nice when the weather's good. And there's some cafes here. We've got the Abbey itself and a few other things that I'm going to show you in a moment. First thing we need to do though is try and cross the river. And I don't fancy swimming across today. So let's see if we can find a bridge. Now we've actually got severe weather warnings across a lot of the UK today. Very heavy winds. I don't know if the microphone is picking it up, but it's quite peaceful here. All I can hear though, aside from the water, is just this constant white noise coming from the top edges of the valley. Just a roaring wind non-stop. It might not come through, so you might have to just imagine, but it's pretty strong. But it's sheltering the bottom of the valley where we are, so that's a bonus. It's quite nice down here. Okay, here's the first strange thing. I actually missed this when I made my way to the Strid about 20 minutes ago, but I was looking for it. There's a few of these on the estate, I think. This is a couple of things. A memorial bench, first and foremost. Father and son, Stuart and Bob Crow. But it's also, as you can probably see, what we call a money tree, or a coin tree in this case. I've never seen one turned into a bench before. And these days, These are kind of like wishing wells. People bring a coin, find a rock nearby, and hammer it in and make a wish. But 200 to 300 years ago, the traditions around these was a little bit different. And people believed that by hammering a coin into a tree, they could actually help to remove illness, pass it from themselves into the wood, essentially. If you're superstitious though, you'll want to be a little bit careful, because it was also said that if you took out one of the coins, you would also take on the illness of the person that placed it there. So the prospect of potential free money, but ironically, could come at a bit of a cost. I wonder how old some of these are. Kind of hard to tell because some of them are so rusted. A lot of 2p's. Does it have to be a 2p? Is there an unwritten rule here? What's that? Oh, that's like the outer ring. That's a fresh one. I could even take it out. It's loose. I'm not gonna though. I don't want to catch any unplanned illnesses. I don't know how common these are. I'm really interested to know, for anyone watching this, do you have these around you? I've seen maybe less than 5 in Yorkshire. I haven't been everywhere in Yorkshire, of course. It's a big place, there's a lot of things here. But I've only seen maybe 3, at a guess, 3 or 4. And I don't know if they do this in other countries. I have read of some other traditions. Apparently in some places... Oh, I disturbed the ducks. Sorry, ducks. Apparently some people in certain cultures tie materials and ribbons to the tree, to the branches of a living tree, sorry. And some people even throw shoes over a tree branch, tied together by the laces. I've never seen that before. I don't know what it's supposed to do. I guess good luck, the same kind of idea. Aside from that, I couldn't find a lot, so maybe it's not super common. I don't know, you tell me. I mean, come on. Are you thinking what I'm thinking? I'm not gonna do it, don't worry. That's too much even for me. But it is tempting. I think these paths are a bit more reliable in the summertime. Okay, there is a bridge, that's good news. There is also a cafe. I'm gonna have to really resist the temptation just to go straight in there, get some food and warm drinks. Maybe I'll do that right at the end. We got things to do first. So this is where we are. This is where we've just come from. We've walked on the western side. As you can see though, you can go way further. We've got another bridge, aqueduct, sorry. Barden Bridge up here. Barden Tower is another place you can visit if you've got enough time. Mr. Tea Room, oh, there's another one. But now what we're gonna do, where are we again? Cross over here, and we're gonna head down towards the ruins. And if you've been here before, and you've got any idea how immature and childish I am, you can probably guess whether I'm more excited about the ruins or the stepping stones. I'll let you be the judge. Place your predictions. Now, as mundane as this might sound, the most controversial part of this estate is actually the car park. If you ever search for this place, even Google or just TripAdvisor, there's a pretty good chance you're going to find a fair few people complaining about the parking prices. So how much does it cost? Why are some people so mad about it? Well, I pre-booked today, so I got a discount. It was a little bit cheaper, and it only cost me £12.50. If I hadn't booked, it would have been £15. So it's expensive for parking, but to be fair, and I haven't been paid to say this by the way, you do get access, having parked, to the whole estate, and there is a lot to do here. So if you're just thinking about a parking cost, yeah, it's a lot for parking. But if you were to go somewhere else, like a National Trust site or something, you'd be paying to enter per person somewhere like that. Whereas here, if you've got a few of you, you know, you can split the cost and you can spend a full day here in summertime, and there's loads of things to see. So I understand why people get angry about it, but I sort of understand it at the same time, because it must take a lot of work to keep this place, you know, upkept. Is that the right word? Upkept. I need to go back to school. Let me know what you think. Is it outrageous? Is it too much? Is it fair? What do you reckon? That's not ideal. Oh, what an idiot. There's a bridge. I mean, whatever. It's only a bit of water. The wind forecasts, they were accurate. We got another one. All right, that's a lot more coins. Somebody's even left a tool here. I mean, we could find one as well, but let's consider it. I wish it was a bit easier to see them. I think it's mostly 1p's, 2p's. We've got a ridge on the edge of that. It looks like a 5p. I was hoping to see maybe some less common or non-English coins. Another one here as well. Earlier in the video, you might remember I said I'd seen maybe 3 of these around Yorkshire. Well, I've just seen 3 in one day, so the numbers have doubled for me. 6. All right, let's go. Left or right? Oh, maybe let's actually use some signs. Let's think, let's use the brain that I've got. What's left of it? Okay, it doesn't say much, just footpath. I'm gonna go this way, because we want to get back to the river. I guess they join eventually, but let's see. Okay, let's have a little competition before we get to the stepping stones. Based on what you've seen of the water levels today, do you think they're going to be covered up, or are we going to be able to get across? I'm not feeling too confident right now. I've never been here before when there's been this much water, so I don't know if they're ever covered, but they must be sometimes. Anyway, we're about to find out. Oh my God, you know what? I didn't even recognize it. I've been here so many times as a kid and as an adult. I didn't see anything. I assumed the stepping stones were further down. But ordinarily, I guess this is where they're supposed to be. I feel like I've said this a lot recently, but I guess we have to come back in summertime and I can show you it in different weather and we can head over the stones. I can't see anything. Not even the tip of a stone. Now, as silly as it might sound, that was the main other thing that I wanted to show you. And you might be thinking, now that we stood here, well, why am I not going to talk more about the Abbey? The truth is, I read up on it, I did a lot of research, and for me personally, it was just information overload. So many dates, stats, names, just scores of little details. And I just found it a bit heavy. So I thought instead we'd just come and have a look, soak in the atmosphere. And if any of you do want a kind of a more historical deep dive on this or some of the other places we've been to, let me know. And we can always do a more in-depth episode. And equally, if any of you do know some stories about the Abbey that you want to share, I'm stuck. I need 2 hands for that. Let us know in the comments section, because I'm sure plenty of us would be interested. It's very aesthetic graves. Frank Whitaker of Bolton Abbey, born 1855, died August 1915. Oh, 33 years custodian of the Abbey. And Sarah Ann, widow of the above, died 1918. I don't know a lot about graveyards. But one thing that strikes me immediately about this place is just the diversity of the graves and the headstones. There's almost like no repetition. There are some similar styles of stones, but everything else is so different. And for some reason, I'm particularly drawn to this cross on top of what looks like a set of stones. William Jones, it's kind of tricky to read. Summer Scales? William Jones of Summer Scales. 1888, I think. Died 1888. It's a little bit hard to make out the rest of it. What does it take in order to have a fence around your gravestone? How important do you need to be? What's like the requirements? I'm certainly not going to have a fence around me when I'm gone. Died 1873, age 25, I think. It looks like 25 from here. Wow. We need to try and find out more about Cameron Douglas. Oh, the wind is back. 25 years old, Cameron Douglas. And he was given an incredible spot here. So there must be a pretty big story to that name. I could look around these for much longer. Let's try and get a bit of shelter though. We'll head into the Abbey ruins. Wow. Very informative. I don't know what that's for. What are these doing here? You know, some of you might be watching this video, if you're still here, thinking, why am I not watching an actual historian go around somewhere like this? Because they'd have more information. It's true. There's not much I can say about that. You're invited to go inside the church. 850 years, okay, there's a clue. 2025 minus 850, so that's 2000 minus 825, 1250, sorry, 1225. Okay, is that right? 1225? Someone's definitely gonna let me know if that's wrong. I'm guessing this isn't the door. I think there's a front entrance. It's closed. Let's explore a little bit more on the way back to the car park and the cafe. This is very much the B side of the video, in case you didn't notice. Whoa. This must be a memorial as well. Born November. Oh, that's a lot of Roman numerals. Oh, I really do need to go back to school. We've got May. But who though? Oh, this fountain was erected by electors of the West Riding. I've never known if it's Riding or Riding. As a tribute to his memory, Frederick Charles Cavendish. Okay, clearly, I feel like I should know who the Cavendish family are because that name has been coming up a lot. I need to go and do my homework. That's a little bit underwhelming, to say the least. Okay, I think it's time to head for the cafe. We've earned it. Thank you so much for watching the video. Admittedly, the first half, pretty more info-packed than the second half, which was a little bit more, you know, let's have a look and see what's around. We'll call it bonus footage, shall we? As always though, if you do want more information or more detailed historical accounts, let me know, and I'm always happy to bring in more stuff in future. Hope you've enjoyed it nonetheless though, and fingers crossed I'll see you next time. You are joking. It's closed.